Ibrahim Kisa Esquire, and he is a personal assistant to Honorable Mustafa Abdul Hamid in Accra. He says that happy 50th birthday to Honorable Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid. May Allah richly bless you. You have been a blessing to me and many youth, including myself. So may Allah continue to guide your ways to greatness. You are a rare politician with value. May Allah protect you and your family. So Honorable Mustafa Hamid turns 50, and that is a strong message coming in from his special assistant. Happy birthday to you, Honorable, and we celebrate you here on Good Morning Ghana as well. So quickly we'll go through the newspapers, and I'll start off with the Daily Graphic. It says books printing goes local. Minister stresses outside publishing not permitted. Textbooks printing goes local. Minister stresses outside publishing not permitted. Green Ghana project to be institutionalized. Jinapo, Green Ghana project to be institutionalized. We'll speak about that and see how it went. Last week, if you partook in it, make sure that you are checking the tree that you nursed or the seedling that you nursed, and let it come up as we expected. Census listing of structures begin. Census listing of structures begin. ADB, DBG must team up to promote Agric. Asante is talking here. 2021 population and housing census. Counting of houses begin. No standby generator at Kaswa Mother and Clinic Hospital. Doctors forced to use torchlight phone lights for deliveries. Operations during power outage. CRI adopts GCLMS to monitor child labor in cocoa growing communities. There's a report that actually is talking about how there's going to be more child labor due to COVID-19, how that really means, we'll look into it. But farmer allegedly kills brother as Kenya's #2. That's also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Daily Guide. 5 Gimpa robbers grabbed, 1 shot. Robbers on rampage attacked near police headquarters. Railway thief busted. No heart for Ghana others. AG backs justice for all. That's all on the front page of the Daily Guide. The New Crusading Guide. COVID-19 testing at Kia saves Ghana. Transport Minister is talking. Misconceptions about gold exports. GBTG clarify issues. Canada, Japan to be cross-examined by lawyers for an ask today. Minister recommends new company as Sputnik V vaccine deal. Minister recommends new company for Sputnik V vaccine deal. The top right corner of New Crusading Guide says KGL Technologies owes NLA 55 million Ghana cedis as LMCs chase government to abrogate contract. The Insight newspaper. Martin Amidu opens fire again, says acting prosecutor is a poodle. Remember last week he released again talking about how the acting prosecutor reports to the chief of staff. COVID-19, who cautions Ghana? That is WHO. Someone asked me, why are you always pronouncing WHO as who? So get used to me. Okay, so COVID-19, WHO cautions Ghana, others against overpriced vaccine. NYN Foundation donates to inmates to Atinswan prison. And then Professor Bobkin warns government against IMF handouts. The Informer. Who is in charge of NDC? Weak Ampofo looks up to Mahama for direction. Is it? Child labor rampant, Shraj. In this issue captures that. Child labor rampant, Shraj. BOG disdains Parliament, refuses to cooperate in investigation into revocation of banking licenses. Magistrates build capacity to enforce mining laws. Ghana backs $200 million from World Bank in aid of COVID-19 vaccines procurement. The Inquisitor. GCB in turmoil over bad loans. GCB in turmoil over bad loans. Oforikuman PP chases MCE. Napo plants tree on Green Ghana Day. Ghana's biggest online grocery store activated. That's here, but KGL NLA contract overly clean. KGL NLA contract overly clean. The top right corner says LMCs fight over government over KGL. The Herald newspaper. Akufo-Addo government builds profit cartel around COVID-19 pandemic. Bernard Okoboy demoted from board chairman position. Kweku Bako and others rip Sputnik V vaccine deal apart. So Kweku Bako is not particularly, clear on the deals around the Sputnik V vaccines. MP calls Chief Justice partisan and hypocrite. The Daily Statesman. Ghanaians embrace Green Ghana project. We have to act now. President rallies Ghanaians for restoration of forest resources. And then Ghana's election to UNSC, big boost for West Africa, says government. The Daily Searchlight. Mahama's $800 million gift to French billionaire. Green Ghana Day, not a one-off event. Let's nurture trees to maturity. President Akufo-Addo. And then we also have Ghana's election on UN Security Council, big boost for West Africa. KGL NLA drama continues. Group allege KGL owes millions to NLA. KGL does not owe NLA 55 million Ghana cedis. KGL NLA contract best so far. So these contradicting stories on the front page of the Daily Searchlight. The publisher, the Ghanaian publisher, Accra Minister to motorbike riders, register and acquire riding license before July. So this is to all motorbike riders, and I think Metro TV here is in full support of the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey, who has taken charge of his region and making major changes, but we hope that it's not going to be a 9-day wonder. So government determined to restore lost forest, Nana Addo. Supreme Court rules for Topkins Enterprises Limited, 21-year litigation with Empire Builders. And Otumfo's picture boldly captured here says Otumfo Lords ADB for refocusing on our Greek. Why should you even divert in the first place? The Business and Financial Times front page. Fertilizer smuggling to Togo, Burkina Faso threatens PFJ progress. Export processing zones need comprehensive national policy. ACT stalking. Netherlands ambassador pays courtesy call on BNFT. It's also here. And then miners advocates exploration incentives. Miners advocates exploration incentives is also here. More in the news is Maritime Authority moves to enhance policing of nation's waters. Now, in the future, it says emerging state of insecurity on African continent, captured by the Business and Financial Times. And that's all we have for you for the front pages of the newspapers. You're watching Good Morning Ghana. We'll be back after this break.
Football pa and nothing a high sense as sponsor Euro 2020 and Edia Mauno. Nesasunti na yatete TV so say who? Edia Mauno. A Hisense Hero 2020 TV Super Promo. Can't wait, brand new Hisense TV and ne board that for. Pictures near clear, na color near deep. Sound quality this dear one it here. Hisense TV so dear entry power. About down one access you are. Akona utusa barefoot. 18th June, Akopim 11th July. A Hisense Hero 2020 TV Super Promo. Emma Refisa, Hisense and Kwan, Emma 5 years warranty. Hisense Hero 2020 TV Super Promo. Akosuwa Hisense showrooms at Ghana for Nanina. What you dear Nansenya? Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people. Hisense, official sponsor at the Hero 2020.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Lawful wedded wife to having to hold from this day forward.
I do.
Esther!
I knew it. Drama saying a bit smashy. I'm a winyaji. For HD Plus, who no feel. My HD Plus, nyanyon papa palma with HD TV. For star 879 hash for subscribe it. Not chow any to feel say see ya.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Ghana here on Metro TV. So this morning, we'll take you to Nsuom, where there's a story that's been captured by our news team. The Community Watch team has actually filed this report, and it borders on the livelihood of the people, it borders on education and how the children will be comfortable in trekking from home to school and school back home. So let's watch the video and then we'll get back. All right, if the video is ready, we'll capture it. But for now, we'll get into other stories. When the video is ready, we'll get it. But this morning, I'm in the studio with Laratu. Laratu has joined us. When was the last time you came here?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3, I think about 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Right. So Laratu Musa Saka speaks for the MPP, and she's here already. We're expecting Gabriela Tete to join us also. When she comes, we'll introduce her. Laratu, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Annie.
Were you around last week? Were you in Ghana?
Around. Oh yes.
You're in Ghana.
Yes.
Okay.
This question is quite interesting.
It's interesting.
Yes.
So I'm asking you to the Greening Ghana project. Did you take part?
Yes, but not publicly.
Not public, of course.
Small.
Our cameras can capture everybody.
Yeah. No, cameras couldn't even capture.
It can't capture everybody. So there's an attempt to encourage everybody to, monitor the projects. That is the Greening Ghana project. And so we hope that if you took part in it, you would actually make sure that the trees that you have planted will yield and will actually become proper trees that will give us some livelihood. So let me read this from the president. President Adu Dankwa Akufo-Addo has said on Friday that nationwide tree planting exercise will not be a one-off event. Now, we will intend to enhance ongoing afforestation programs and see to the sustainable exploitation of all our forest resources. He noted on 11 June 2021 when he planted a tree at the forecourt of the Jubilee House as part of the Green Ghana project. So the day was set aside to plant some 5 million trees across the country. There are some videos. If we can get the videos, of course, at least from last week, then we'll see when the president was, also taking part. But his happened at the Jubilee House. Now, speaking at the event, President Adu Dankwa Akufo-Addo explained that the forest is one of the most important natural resources of Ghana, as it continues existence, creates jobs, and provides income for local communities. He also noted that the forest is a source of foreign exchange earning through timber product exports and offers environmental protection, including watershed protection and climate change regulation. However, the exploitation of forest resources for national development has not been sustainable over the years. And I ask, whose fault is it? Deforestation and forest degradation are the greatest challenges in sustainable forest management in Ghana today, the president said, unquote. He continued, quote, the consequential effects of forestation and forest degradation is severe climate change, which has dire consequences of our livelihood, specifically the drying up of our water bodies, the pollution of waters, loss of primary timber species, loss of biodiversity, and change of rainfall patterns and weather conditions in the country. To this end, President Akufo-Addo indicated that there is urgent need to reverse the trend and restore the country's forest resources now as much as possible back to their original state, he added. So he says that the president thus reiterates his determination to restore the loss of forest cover of the country, with an attempt to regulate and sanitize the small-scale mining industry being one of such initiatives to help keep Ghana's forest cover and reserves intact. Lawatu.
Yes. Annie, good morning once again, and good morning to our viewers. I mean, the president puts it as it should be. I don't think he could have put it better than the way he did. And this is an initiative that is worth commending, and all the stakeholders who took part must be commended highly. In the wake of the havoc Galamsey has wreaked in our forest reserves and depleting some of our forest cover. This is one of the major things, and His Excellency the President is determined to lead the way so we can restore our forest cover. Also, for a populace that depends mainly on the plants and herbs, even in the wake of COVID, most of the things people were using were herbs, neem tree and all those other medicinal plants. So we can't keep cutting them or using them and not replace them. So this goes without saying that, I mean, once I remember a couple of years back, you cut a tree, you plant two or so, but it wasn't really something that was institutionalized. So the president's call to institutionalize this is a call in the right direction, and it even has a broader impact on our economy, if I may say. Because if we are going to institutionalize this, then it also comes with some level of employment creation, because you need to get people to make sure, I mean, people in their homes definitely will take care of their plants, be responsible enough, since we are all in this together, to take care of their plants. I mean, some have planted fruits, some have planted herbs, some have planted ornamental trees. So we'll still need people to make sure these things are done, need people to assess the progress of this initiative, need people to do the monitoring of all these. And it will have a big, if we commit to this, I believe in the next 5 to 10 years, because even with the reports, the ministry overachieved. They plan to plant 5 million trees, and looking at the numbers that we're working in, we doubled, if not tripled the number. And if we all come together like this, because we had people all over the country, churches, former government officials, current government officials partaking, and I was quite excited, especially with school children and all that. These are the things we need to imbibe in young people coming up, so they don't depart from it. So it's an initiative we all need to support.
It's an initiative, when not handled properly, can rather be a disadvantage than an advantage. One question I kept asking during the exercise was that what is the exact plan for the planting of the trees? If maybe because we are using the seedlings, we're carrying them in small packs, but some definitely will go into the land. But what exactly how are we doing the planting? Maybe in a particular area, if you come to Metro TV, maybe on the street of Metro TV, we are planting trees there. We want to find out what type of trees are we planting here. What is the shape we want, the planting of the trees to take when they are up or when they grow. In what areas are we doing umbrella trees, maybe in this forest cover or in that area? What is really the plan? I didn't get really the euphoria around it was high. We did well, making some noise for about a month into the exercise. So that one, I think it's sorted. But the plan, I was not so clear about it. Is there something that it's there but we don't know?
So in the awareness creation period, I mean, it's still going on, the ministry brought out a lot of educational material where you can pick the seedlings, the kind of plants you can plant depending on where you are planting it. Yeah, so when you go to the pickup points, you tell them where you're going to plant them, and then they even indicated places that these plants, it was material that was put out. For instance, they had one that said where trees can be planted, and it indicated churches, communities, street avenues, and depending on where you are planting it, they even gave you the maintenance of the trees after planting. So watering, weeding, fencing it, depending on where you are. So if you find yourself in a place where there are stray animals, you definitely have to fund it. But watering goes without saying. So they brought out all those things, but the specifics were detailed to the individuals who went to pick the seedlings from the pickup centers. So all these were thought throughout carefully before they gave out the seedlings. But definitely this is an initiative that has started. I mean, once an M&E is done, some of these things will come up and they will be addressed. But the important thing is the institutionalization of it. Because once you institutionalize it, you have specific people responsible for the initiative, and they can manage it and manage it
and monitor it.
And monitor it. Yes.
But do you not think that maybe a more detailed document for the whole country would have been more appreciated than, so that we have an idea how, just like where I'm sitting, if I don't go to the forestry department and get seedlings, I wouldn't have information that I actually need unless I am going onto the ground.
No, not necessarily. When you go, there's a website for the Green Ghana project, and once it's dubbed a project, definitely you can initiate a project or implement a project without the right documentation. So definitely there will be a plan, and all these details. I haven't gone thoroughly through the website, but there's a website with all this information.
What is the site? Do you know?
I can't, but all I do is Google the Green Ghana website, and it comes up.
Okay.
Yeah, so this information, and they have pickup points, they are officers within the MMDAs across the country, lands commissioners officers across the country. So these are places that we can get information. And once we are moving on, definitely our information centers will have adequate information on this. But the educational material that came had quite a bit of information that will help anybody to execute their planting and also take care of whatever seedling they took properly. So the information is there. Yes.
Right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana here on Metro TV. We're touching on the exercise that happened last week with the planting of trees, and we will be back after this break and continue.
Blood gives life. Blood is very important. Let's donate blood to save lives. On Saturday, June 19th, 2021, Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM humbly invite you to be part of blood donation exercise at the premises of Metro TV, close to Alisa Hotel on Dr. Isert Street at North Ridge in Accra. The exercise will start at 7 o'clock in the morning. It is in commemoration of the World Blood Donation Day. Join us save lives as we donate blood for the blood bank. This exercise is in partnership with Blue Skies, Pharma Nova, and 3Fair. Share to save a life.
There's a place for people like you.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural eggs, mineral water.
Still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back. You're still on Good Morning Ghana. Gabriela Tete has joined us here in the studio. Gabi, you're welcome. Good morning. Good morning. So we're on the Green Ghana project. Now, from the Daily Graphic page 32 and 49, it says that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, has said the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has directed that the Green Ghana project be institutionalized as an annual event to help conserve the environment. The day, which will be commemorated on June 11, early each year to coincide with the World Day of Forests, is to ensure that the over 5 million trees planted last Friday are properly nurtured into maturity. The Mr. Jinapor said in line with that, his ministry, in collaboration with the Forestry Commission and other stakeholders, will monitor the progress of the trees, particularly the local level. Or at the local level. The planting of these trees is just 20% of the work done, because the mechanism in strategies that will result in the survival of the trees 80%. We would need to ensure that these trees survive, he added. The minister said this when he led the staff of the ministry to plant trees around their office premises at Accra last Friday. Okay, so Laratu, so did you find a website?
No, it's on the information I was talking about. What I meant the Lands Ministry website.
The Lands Ministry.
It's mlnr.gov.gh. They have the information there.
That's MNLR.
MLNR, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources .gov.gh.
.gov.gh. Okay, so I think you can also try and open the site and see if you find anything about the Greening Ghana. If there are some details, some more details you want, you may ask. Because for me, I actually wanted the plan for the planting. Sometimes when you mention plans, people is like, you know, Ghana Beyond Aid. I have not seen the plan. The president promised me personally that because remember we went to the Jubilee House to ask questions. We still haven't seen the plan, and he said that we were going to bring the plan. So when we see the plan, that's when we work towards it. So for me, it is the plan. Else we'll do things outside, and the exercise will be, you know, to no avail. So it's rather the Lands Ministry website. Okay. Okay. Gabi, you're welcome once again. Did you take part in the exercise?
Well, I'd have loved to participate, but I started my greening project over 20 years ago. So I have no space on my land for additional trees. There were those who know my neighborhood and who know where I live will attest to the fact. In fact, my trees have grown to the extent that the assembly has to come and warn me to cut my trees.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But this is not for your house. This is a general, this is a national exercise.
Now, where am I going to plant my tree? I can't go and then stand anywhere and then dig the ground and plant a tree there. I mean, exactly as you said, there has to be a strategy around where to grow those trees. And from what I observed, people were planting the trees in their homes and in front of their offices. I didn't see
I
people.
thought I was the only person that observed that.
Except my constituency, when my sister took you to the schools. Those were the ones I saw. I didn't really see a general tree planting.
You know, where there's like either we're having a linear planting or we are having a scattered planting.
All I saw was everybody was planting a tree in front of their house, in front of their office. The ministers themselves were planting in front of their offices. Government appointees were planting in front of their offices. Akufo-Addo himself planted at Flagstaff House. So
how about we were sent to the Forestry Commission or your localities
to pick a seedling
and plant. So exactly, so your leaders definitely will be available to help you or guide you as to where to put the tree or what type of seedling to pick depending on what tree they want in the area or in the forest. I mean,
yeah, but the point I'm making is that I don't have space on my land to plant any more trees because my house is actually swallowed up by trees. One day I'll take you there and you see the kind of environment I live in. I've taken 20 years to actually build that kind of environment for myself because I like being in nature.
You did it yourself or your parents did it?
I did it myself.
You did it yourself?
For over 20 years.
Wow.
Yes, and I enjoy it. I call it my little Ebri, and I enjoy it. But this is where, collectively as a country, we want to get to, because we want to be in a much more cleaner, safer, greener, holistic environment. And I think it's a wonderful initiative, because we've done quite a lot of damage to our forest cover, even for those of us in the urban areas. Because of rapid urbanization, we've had to cut down old trees, which not only served as ecological, serve for ecological purposes, but also beautifying the city, providing shade to commuters, etc., have also been destroyed. I mean, a few years back, when you drive from Liberation Circle to Akwaje, that whole avenue was with neem trees.
With neem trees, yeah.
And whenever it's sunny, people could stand under those trees for shade. Now, because of developments, all those trees have gone down. We've cut them from the median. I think in the time of Honorable Oko Vanderpoel, he attempted to green the city again, and they planted some plants in the median to beautify the city. And whilst we were doing that, they were also cutting down old trees. And I don't really know what came out of that process, because, I mean, we are here now. But this initiative, I'm very much for it, and I'm also very much interested in, as you mentioned, what is the sustainability plan? Because it's one thing planting trees, and it's another thing nurturing them to grow. If you plant them and you don't water them, you don't protect them from grazing animals and all that, and also even shape them to take a particular form, you end up doing a very haphazard job. Once upon a time, we had Parks and Gardens, which was helping us with that in the city areas. Again, I don't know what has happened to Parks and Gardens, whether they are even
Parks
there
and Gardens took part in this exercise. We have a video of Parks and Gardens, I think it was last week. Yes, because the exercise was last week. So Parks and Gardens was collaborating with Zoom Lion in the tree planting exercise. So we definitely had some experts, you know.
Okay, that's good, because they have the expertise in nurturing plants and developing gardens for a lot of years. And then also, I saw snippets of the development partners, the diplomatic community, also having their exercise, and then they were told to put a flag next to their plants so people from their offices can be following up on how their plants are doing. That's a very interesting concept, because you want them to see whether their plants are green, and then they can give us more money to do other things with, aside from what we've said we're going to do.
Development partners?
Oh yes, the head of the EU Commission. I saw the head of the diplomatic or the Colombian ambassador with Madame Joyce Ayi planting somewhere. But you see, Annie, this process of greening Ghana, I think that, let me give credit to an institution that has been championing this cause, even before government took it up as an initiative. The Forestry Commission, under the leadership of the late Sir John. Because I used to follow news. As I said, I like a lot of natural stuff, so I follow news on nature. And then I know very well that they had these young recruits that they put in uniform that were all over the country planting trees, trying to reclaim some of the lost
Was the National
lands.
Service not... Yeah, I think the National Service was also involved in that.
I don't know if National Service participated, but I know that Sir John and
that was doing their
afforestation.
Yes, Forestry Commission.
Forestry Commission, yes. I know that they have been doing this for a long time now, and under Sir John, I observed that they were very active about it, especially because of what we've done to our vegetation cover. Now, trees.
I remember it created a problem. I mean, some time ago when Sir John was alive,
they said they hadn't been paid.
Where they hadn't been paid, and they were making so much noise. I don't know if that's a problem. We haven't checked if that problem has been sorted yet.
I read couple of weeks ago that they had paid some of them, but they were still in arrears for about, I think, 2 or 3 months. But they had covered some of the past arrears. So they had just about 2 or 3 months left to pay them. But I want to encourage the Forestry Commission to continue with the process. I mean, they are under lands and natural resources. So with the new initiatives on developing and trying to re-green our environment, Forestry Commission, Parks and Gardens, and I don't know which other agency is involved, but I want to encourage them to continue with it. And then even when the individuals forget to nurture their trees, that they kindly go and make sure that these trees stay alive.
Yeah, that's why it's important for us to know the plan. If there's a specific plan of what is being planted where and how it's being planted, I'm sure the commission is, technically equipped enough to know how to monitor it. But if it's about just individuals putting trees, anywhere,
I'm sure in the seedling allocation, they should have had a plan to the seedling allocation.
Yes.
So that they know that in this particular district, we give this particular crops, and then also they grow crops, trees that can adapt to certain environments. I know that in the north, for example, they gave them rosewood, they gave them shea nut.
Okay. I have a number of seedlings, but I don't have the type of seedlings, I mean. So Western North, we have a target of 420,000. In Western, we have 250,000. In Ashanti, 1 million. In Ashanti, 1 million trees. In Upper West, we have 150,000. In Upper East is 170,000. In Savannah region, 250,000. Eastern region, we have 750,000. Ahafo, 170,000 seedlings. Bono, 250,000. And then Bono East, we have 300,000. Northern, there's 250,000. Northern East, there's 120,000. And then Greater Accra, there's 450,000. Oti region, 150,000. Volta, 200,000. And then Central is 400,000.
Well, but again, they don't give the specifics of the plans. But I think I listened to an interview with one of the Northern region correspondents from the stations, and he mentioned that they were planting rosewood, shea nut tree. There was a third crop that they were also planting. So obviously, we may not be privy to the plan and the strategy that they are deploying, but obviously, if you follow the news and what is going where, you definitely see that there is some organization to it. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and let's support them to, the environment benefits all of us. Right. It has nothing to do with what your political affiliation is. It's something that will help all of us. Once we have more greenery in the environment, looking at how the global warming is affecting climate generally across the entire planet, having a greener community serves a purpose where the trees then take the carbon dioxide and convert it into oxygen. Who benefits from the oxygen? It's human beings. So we are helping the environment, and the environment will reward us back in return. Right. So, let's support it.
Yeah.
Right.
Annie, with initiatives like this, Gabby spoke about Lands Commission doing it. Every institution has its mandate. Lands Commission is fundamentally responsible for the forest.
I don't think I mentioned Lands Commission. I said Forestry Commission.
Sorry. Forests and wildlife reserves, and they're also supposed to conserve and utilize them. But when you look at the coverage of the Green Ghana project, it goes beyond. And I relate to what she's saying. All these avenues that had neem trees and all that. And for ministers and all those other people to even plant trees, how many of these offices recently have trees around to even serve as windbreaks and other things like we're taught growing up? So looking at, if we skew it to just outskirts, then we might still have the problem we are trying to solve. Because around the city, for lack of a better description, inner city, you hardly see these trees. Even those there need to be trimmed or cut and all that.
Yeah.
But when we also talk about the species, in a place like Savannah region, the havoc that has been wreaked in our forest and surrounding areas is just unthinkable. So if they are given rosewood and share trees in that area, it's perfect, because what they were cutting in those areas was rosewood and share trees. But either cutting them out as logs or burning them for charcoal.
But mentioning rosewood,
yes,
cutting down rosewood is illegal.
Yes.
But we have some foreigners doing, I don't know why Gabby is giving me that reaction, but we have some foreigners doing it. And when you go to the ports, officials at the port, not even just officials, but those on the ground that actually do the operational work at the port, tell you on a daily basis how they export rosewood trees, timber from this country. Why are we pretending we don't know? As leaders, or as a, why are we pretending like we don't know?
Honey.
We are allowing people to cut the trees, and then we organize the nationals that come and let's plant trees. But we know,
No.
I don't think that we don't know those who are not cutting the trees.
If you put it in that context, then it's a bit misleading. You and I know how things happen in this country. They don't happen like a big bang. Someone finds an opportunity, gets in there, starts doing it bit by bit. So probably what we should be encouraging is for all of us to be vigilant. We don't wait for a problem to blow up. Because when it became a big deal, most of these trucks were impounded. Currently, even in Savannah region, there's a huge fight against these things.
We waited for it to become a big deal before we impounded
nobody
the truck.
waited for it to become a big deal. It became a big deal because it started at the local level. We're not too vigilant, and nobody can deny we're not too vigilant down there. You see, when we leave everything to the national level, that is when the issues blow up.
Why were we not vigilant?
Why were we not? Someone picks a machine. What's it called? It's a dormer machine or that goes into a forest. People go to farm all the time. Start cutting these things. Probably they start little by little, cut them into pieces, package them, you don't even know. People go in there, quietly burn, because they move.
I don't know the state in which the Forestry Commission is in now when it comes to corrupt practices. I have a relative that lost his job. He was working with the Forestry Commission. He lost his job due to this exercise of illegally cutting down trees. And, you know, he goes in to stop those. It's not as though I think he caused an arrest of those who were cutting down trees. He lost his job due to that. Apparently, there was a top man there who actually, you know, was in connection to the business. So he lost his job due to this. This was years ago. I can't remember even the year. It was very little years at the time. And he lost his job. His job due
specifically
to that.
for doing his job.
Yeah, currently the state of the Forestry Commission when it comes to some of these practices, because we cannot run away from the fact that some of our leaders at the top in some offices know they are actually in connection with some of these activities that go on in the country. We know that we don't like it. We know it's illegal. Yet we set people out to go and plant trees, and they know themselves.
Annie, what I know is illegal, and those in charge of it, because I've seen trucks being impounded, I've seen trucks being stopped, I've seen officers go into the forest to clamp down some of these activities when it was getting out of hand. I haven't heard much of it now. But for me to sit here, especially on a platform like this, and conjecture that big men up there, because I personally don't know and I can't mention anybody's name. There are rules and regulations guiding some of these things. As a journalist, you also go out and pick some of this information. For someone to lose his job because he was doing his job, that's quite absurd. And I think for some of these things, we just don't leave it at just having conversations within us. Let's probe some of these things, because if you sitting here, your relative lost his or her job for doing their job and you keep quiet about it, I don't think you've done service to anybody.
Oh, I was little at the time, like I said. I didn't have any, I was young. In fact, I think I was in secondary school.
So probably the details may not be as so it could be something else. Because it was would be quite interesting for someone to just lose their job.
Oh, you mean the details of what happened?
Yes.
That's what happened. That I remember clearly, that's what happened. And you know that sometimes in our institutions, when these things happen and you even try to fight it, the system itself will fight you back to the point where you give up and you can't fight any longer, because those who are in line to help you regain your position, all of them seem to be against you, and they will make sure you don't actually get back to your position. And we know these things. It's not as though we are conjecturing.
Who puts the system in place? It's you and I.
It's not you and I.
It's you and I.
It's the authority in power.
Who is the authority there for?
But the authority is there for who?
Yeah, the authority is there for who?
Is the authority building the system?
Yes. Authority is there for you and I. We put laws and rules and regulations together through our representatives, right? Laws are made in our parliament. The people there are representatives. You and I vote for them, right? So the system is built by us, because these laws just don't happen out of the blue. They are discussed, and our representatives represent us there to make sure the rules or whatever laws are passed are to the benefit of the citizen.
Right.
So if you say the system is fighting the person, who put the system in place? You see, we need to start psyching ourselves to make sure that we also stand up to someone, because sometimes someone raises an issue. Oh, this person did A, B, C, D. When you are looking for the person to even give evidence or come and give details of what has happened, they are nowhere to be found.
Do you know why?
Do I know why? I don't know why.
Okay.
You may be victimized, no doubt about it, but there are instances where you can give information without necessarily being known. I don't think most of the information you get as a media house, you know the source.
Right.
You get the information and you go and investigate it.
Oh, so but you have to know the source before you can investigate. But sometimes
they give you details,
yeah, but what you
follow up, but you don't necessarily know sometimes the individual who gives the information. If the person trusts you enough, they'll show their identity. But we get people take videos, take pictures and throw it into the space just for someone to catch someone's attention for them to follow up. But most of the time you follow some of these things, it's just fundamentally a misunderstanding of what the institution stands for. Because no institution operates in the vacuum. They operate within a certain remit. So if you don't get an understanding of what the mandate of that institution is, and you just go picking up issues without verifying first, it comes with those things. Nobody really wants their integrity to be. And we also look at how we treat our own people who get into government institutions and people who get into politics, how we stereotype people. Because the moment you get into politics, you're already branded as someone who is in not to do any good. So at the end of the day, if you keep stereotyping people like this, will you get the quality you require? Those are things we need to be talking about, because we have the structures. It's just the attitude that we all need to come together and make a conscious effort to do it. I believe that even Gabby not having space in her house, she could have followed her sister to her constituency. She could have helped school children.
I mean, exactly. Gabby limited herself to her
Gabby
house.
limited it. It's a good initiative, she admits. But she didn't go further down to make sure that we all achieve the results that we've set out to achieve. At the end of the day, she knows the importance of having trees. We all know, we learn these as early as primary school. They give windbreaks, they're giving us shade, they're giving us food, being medicinal. These are things we learn from childhood. We don't need to depart from them. And we need to be citizens enough to push some of these things. So I hope she makes space in her house to plant. I don't know whether you have fruits. Because if you have fruits, in 20 years, some of them should have been losing the number of fruits they give now. So you should be able to cut them and replace them. Yeah.
So on this issue, this is what is happening in our forest. And it's sent by the Honorable Member of Parliament, Clement Apak. He says that this is what's happening in our forest, but the people are not around yet. It says Guluk Forest, Tirik. The Tirik, what does it stand for? And then we also have a video from Kayoro Forest. And he sent all that to me. And there are videos of, you know, trees that have been cut into logs.
I think that would be rosewood.
I think so.
When rosewood for some time now.
Right.
Because one of his constituency happens to be one of the most affected by the illegal felling of rosewood. But you see, the thing with the rosewood is, as you mentioned, we allow the tree to be cut illegally for export. And then now we are trying to replant again. I personally don't understand why we have not added rosewood to the list of our commercial trees. Up until the Chinese showed up and told us that this is a very valuable tree, people were burning it for charcoal. And if you didn't see the other uses aside from charcoal, and someone tells you that this is a highly valuable tree, you should take more conscious efforts in trying to get the most advantage out of that product. So for the very reason why we still have it banned and why we have turned it into a black market activity beats my own imagination. But you
so
see,
not to cut you, he says that for the videos he sent, he says that these are pictures sent to me only last month. So they were sent to him personally anyway. The villagers, I think you wanted to write villagers. The villagers, in addition to rosewood, are logging dawa and share. So we are investigating millions to plant, we are investing millions to plant trees, yet watch, allow, and even participate in the destruction of the existing trees. Can you believe that not a single person has been arrested and prosecuted for the harvesting or transport or export of rosewood since the so-called reinforced ban? He's asking a question. How do the logs in the trucks get through the police, forestry barriers, all the way from the savannah zone to the port? Simple official complicity. And that's the point I want to make, that if it's not broken, you don't fix it. But if it's broken, you fix it. So how is it that we know where the breakage is and we don't want to go to the base to fix it? And it's like tackling the problem from a bottom-down approach. Because
some people are benefiting from top-down some people are benefiting from the approach that we're using to fight this thing. That's why I was making the point, that when you ban rosewood and yet you allow the trade to continue, you are rather running a black market enterprise, and the state is not going to benefit from the value that this tree brings to the economy. He mentioned it goes through forestry checkpoints, it goes through police checkpoints, even to the point of Tema Harbour, or is it Takrad Harbour, wherever it passes to go for exports. And do the customs officers at the various ports know what a rosewood log looks like? we know what teak looks like.
Right.
Because we've seen the dimensions and the color of teak. So you can easily identify teak. We know what wawa looks like. We know what mahogany looks like. Have you trained them to identify rosewood? So that when they see rosewood wrongly labeled as some other tree trunk for export, they can identify and say, this is not rosewood. Wawa. This is rosewood. And then you cut.
But you know, to make it easier, this is something that we should even start from the younger generation. In schools, they should be teaching them the type of trees and how they look like, so that they grow into it. Not just teaching villagers, but they should extend it to the basic schools for all these things to be taught in. Because if we are really doing this right, it has to be a holistic approach.
That's true. But the communities that grow these trees can identify what tree is which tree when they see the tree. If we teach the customs and the other security servicemen how to trace and track these products, and we arrest these products, the next challenge is, what do we do with these logs once we seize them? They are left there, no value, so they rot. You see,
and you should see the pictures he has sent.
It's a lot.
If we get the pictures, I've sent it to my producers. I mean,
when you see the factories of the people who are cutting down these trees, it's always, I don't understand how you can't find them. Even if they're in the middle of the forest, you should be able to see that somebody is doing logging and somebody is cutting logs. You can't hide it.
So those are some of the containers.
How do you hide this?
And they go through all these are trees that have been cut down.
So looking at the trees, like you said, these things are issues you tackle a step at a time. So when you look at them in the truck or whatever, you can't easily identify them. So probably they will just rely on whatever has been declared and take a decision.
But people are trained to identify from seeing the dimensions and the patterns in the tree.
And even the color of the tree.
Exactly.
So you should train security officials to be able to identify those trees.
You need to start from somewhere. Look, after the dialogue, stakeholder dialogue that the Lands Ministry had and the custodians of the land, that's the chiefs, then took charge. At least I can say for Savannah region that they gave a period for all those who had burnt charcoal to get it out of. Now, today, you can't pass the region with charcoal because we don't even know where it's coming from. You know, you take it a step at a time. You implement, it's been banned. Now we are talking about training. We are talking about making sure we put officers together. So it comes back. The whole thing comes back. It's not that we don't have the systems in place. It comes back to the attitude.
You see, that's where my worry. That's where my worry actually has been. It comes back to supervision. When you say step by step, right? Step by step will mean that there is a holistic approach plan to this, where we know that when we start here, this is the result. When we start from maybe stopping those who are burning trees or logs into charcoals, this is where the approach will start, and that will benefit us to go a long way. When we start from training children of planting of trees, this is where it's going to start. And that's, so every municipality picks a plan and knows that this is where the whole country is going. We don't have a national plan admitted. So we need to have all these little bits and pieces of plans of some of these projects, and then we know how the implementation is going to go. The implementation should be a one-off thing and a unionized something that we are all doing on one path. If we know that where to start from is to first stop the logging of trees, because, and we're still waiting for the pictures.
You just said the first thing to do is stop the logging
you realize
of
that
trees.
for the
but
pictures,
once we put the plans together,
for the pictures that have been sent,
we have to leave the situation to
if these pictures are in Honorable, what's his name?
Apak.
Sorry?
Apak.
Apak's constituency. It is clear desertification I am seeing. Clear desertification I am seeing. So we are wasting time, or we are spending time, no, not wasting time, but we're spending time planting trees, investing money, investing time planting trees. But we are busy destroying what are already in existence. And you, from the pictures I see, I wish
and
I had
these are trees that have been growing for years.
Yes,
we don't
for years.
Grow from seedling to tree overnight.
So what are we? It's like we are. What are we doing? The balance is, if we had a scale to put on, we need to start somewhere. And where is the somewhere? Stopping people from burning charcoals, or stopping people from
charcoal. Who's going? Me or you?
You.
You see, charcoal is somebody's economic activity. In the central region, I remember very, very well, when my father was very active with SEDECOM, they encouraged charcoal manufacturers to grow acacia trees because they grow fast, and then you cut it and you regeminate, you cut and you regeminate. So it's a more sustainable solution to finding charcoal. And it encouraged people to go into acacia plantation, even if they were small holders, but encourage people to go into acacia farming for charcoal purposes, and it was working. So you have to put an alternative to rosewood, that these trees, rosewood being one, and all the other economic viable trees that we have, are marked. And this is with technology, you can GPS a tree, and anything that happens to that tree, you will know. If it's cut down, you can track the tree. So there's technology there to protect and preserve these trees.
But that would take time for us to get there as a country.
No, not the technology is easily deployed.
It's simple?
It's very simple device that you just pin on a tree, or you pin it around a plantation.
Okay.
So that it monitors how many trees are in that enclave.
Okay.
But you give them an alternative, which for Central Region, in our case, we had acacia. If you can go in the north, I don't see why not. So that they rely on that for charcoal. All right. Then, you see, we have to have a system in this country that actually protects our trees. With this Green Ghana project, let's assume that in 10, 15 years' time, our trees have grown, have matured. Now, believe me, I will not be surprised that come that 10, 15 years, will be the same people who will be happily cutting down these trees that we planted just this weekend because of our own attitude. We should have a system in place that makes it unlawful to just cut down trees. For me specifically, especially commercial trees like rubber, like cocoa, like oil palm. And now if we add all these other trees like the mahogany, wawa, rosewood, etc., all these economically viable trees should be protected by law. I always make reference to Malaysia. Malaysia is making inroads with palm because the tree is protected by law. You can't, even in your own farm, you can't cut down that tree unless you seek permission to cut the tree because of what it is giving to the Malaysian economy. So we should learn to protect our trees and back it with law.
These are some of the pictures received from Honorable Apak.
They'll take the trunks and leave the rest to...
Yes.
And this vegetation...
It's just going.
That's it.
So
the grass is already dry.
These are some of the pictures sent to us by the Honorable Member of Parliament. So these ones are waiting to be carried away.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
the owners will come. That's the size they cut it. So the owners will come and take them. They are the owners. The injustice we cause to ourselves.
Right. So you were making a point about the palm tree in Malaysia and the rest.
Yeah, so I think that we should protect our economically viable trees by law. And if you see what Galamsey is doing to these plantations...
It's even getting us into Galamsey, because I was coming to mention that cocoa farmers are now giving out their cocoa to Galamsey, I don't know, people, whatever.
Because money from Galamsey is quick.
It's
compared to money from cocoa. But what they forget is that after they have given the land away and it is mined, if they leave traces of mercury, that farm is now useless. Yeah. Yes, I was watching a news article, a news brief on rice farmers in Ashanti region, and how they're counting their losses, because apparently the river that runs through their farms, which we're using for irrigation purposes, they can no longer rely on it because of mercury in the river. And they are very much aware that should they use that river to irrigate the rice fields, wherever this rice goes is going to contaminate human health. So they were waiting for the rains, and the rains delayed. And now the monies they put into their rice farms, they've made losses. So it comes back to a lot of dimensions that we still have to address. Back to area of issue of how we are doing mining in this country. It's coming back again to how we are protecting our trees, not just in the forest reserves, but our trees generally. How we are preserving our commercially viable trees, and what program we have in place, because the effects of this, it has a cascading effect on not just the forest and our export earnings. It's also on the very food that we eat, what comes to our table. And if the farmers know that there's a river passing through my farm, but I can't harvest this river because I'll end up poisoning the multitude who eat my crop, then it means that where we've reached is quite alarming, and we need to draw back.
So Prince is sending this from Koforidua. He says that as we are planting trees, let's make sure we resource the appropriate quarters, which is the Forestry Commission, to be able to take care of trees we're planting. Let's also pay the youth in afforestation well to motivate them to work and protect our forests. For more than 6 months, youth in afforestation have not been paid their stipend, and same to NAPCO trainees who have not been paid for more than 2 months. The government must walk the talk. Regards to Honorable Giselle Mago and Honorable Fifi Kwete. Honorable Fifi Kwete, I'm hearing something that's coming up. When it comes up, war here. So this one says, Annie, good morning. I expected the tree planting to cover the Ramsar site at Sakumono to make it greener and keep away estate developers from encroaching. Let us all help to protect the Ramsar site from Alachi Haruna in Ashaiman over to the Forestry Commission to take it up. Annie, thank you for, yes, the Ramsar site, I think it's been in the news for some time now, and we all have to put hands on deck on that one. But on the issue of, environment development, let's take a video that one of our own, Obodai, went in some to cover. It's on I don't know, it's not on education, it's on development, I would say. But it affects students, it affects parents, it affects teachers and everybody. So let's get that report and then we'll come back. We'll speak with Henry Kwesibedu also on the exercise that's been started by Metro News, that is the Galamsey fight. We'll speak to him later. But for now, let's pick that video. We'll be back shortly.
The Bultre River runs through the Ahanta West municipality, as well as the Mpoho and the Wasa East district in the western region. The river is the major source of water for residents of Ewusejo, Freti, Otopo, and other communities close by. Residents say the water was clean and clear before the river was taken over by Galamsey activities.
Best 6 to 5 years now, quite important suma, you two the Ukraine, or then soon. There were number one soon, you consume the Damanampu or Dambu, and that is night, Bibasa, and 2 Nunusuno.
Women and children in this community use the river water for all their domestic work. Despite the pollution from mining and washing in the river, residents drink this water without any treatment. Food vendors around here also source their water from the polluted river. Comfort Payson, who operates a small eatery, says she has no choice than to use the contaminated water to make food for sale.
I say, Nana, yes, so yeah, Eddie Bamia, Bibiala, and in Sua Babia, Papia, way, Nina, say, Miss Nomba. It is Yana in Essa, Bibiala, and in Sua Babiala. But I'm saying for so what you want, I see when I walk. Then you what to clear. Yes, I near the alarm near the Atu.
23-year-old Innocent Mochia is unemployed and lives with his parents here. He complains about side effects whenever he uses the water from the Butre River for bathing. He adds that he cannot afford to buy water.
Because one thing, it may be and Ghana had a make a crew, Ghana and a Jumania. You must have why didn't.
Residents here are pleading with authorities to clamp down Galamsey activities soon in order to save their source of water, the Butre River.
The Galamsey people have polluted the water. Because of that, you can't use it to cook and bath. Sometimes when you bath, and our self is engineers, so you want the Galamsey people to stop doing that, so that you can use it to cook and bath.
Henry Pesi Beru, Metro News, Eusejo.
The absence of a bridge in the Mofra Fadrin community in the Sawam Edwadri municipality of the Eastern region has been a major challenge to residents for years. It's always a terrifying situation for the over 80 pupils of the community each time they have to cross this dilapidated makeshift bridge to and through the only basic school in the area.
I feel so scared.
You feel scared?
Yes, because last time me and my sister was crossing the bridge and my sister fell into the water, so I feel so sad. Please, I want them to come and correct the bridge for us because the bridge is so terrible.
We have one school in the community, the only school in the community, and because the bridge is broken, children are not able to go to school. There's a population of about 80-90 students in the school, children in the school, but when it rains, only about 20 or 10 show up, which is very disturbing. Mothers are scared, children are scared to cross this bridge, and we are in the raining season. So the situation will be getting worse, and we are very, very concerned. We are very, very worried.
We had to pause the interviews at this moment because it was just about raining. The incomplete concrete and makeshift wood bridges are self-help projects by the community members. They appeal to authorities and humanitarian organizations to support them to complete the bridges.
We pray that you guys will help us, and I want you out there to help us to construct this bridge for us so we can go to school, educate these children so that they become a great leaders in future.
Municipal Chief Executive for the Nsawam Edwadri Municipality, Isaac Boabing, explains how the bridge will be fixed.
This is a community self-help project. So they have a budget allocation, which is a self-help project allocation. But if it is fund is not available, what we have to do is to review the budget. We are about to review budget. So the assembly member quickly should write, as a matter of urgency, should write in the form of a request to the assembly, so that if the self-help support cannot fix it for them, we'll inculcate it in our review budget.
Metro News and Community Watch will follow up and keep you updated. From Nsawam, this is Gabriel Ni Obodai Togwa.
Talking about the environment and development, these are some of the issues also that we're now, vary into from deforestation and afforestation to the nature in which our people are living in. And sometimes people say that Afro Ghana no any Accra, but no, there are other places that things are happening to your sisters and brothers. I've actually teared when I saw the little girl on the bridge. So that's the little bridge also. That is in Samoma Dredri municipality, constituency where Honorable Frank Anodonpre is. If you can, Honorable, if you're watching this, we will plead with you that you help us. So, Lawatu.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I get a bit.
I'm really sorry. Yes.
When you see kids going through some of these things, these are not things kids should be going through, especially when there's so much effort being put into making our basic education and giving access to education to every child of school-going age. In the explanation the MCE gave, I don't get the concept a bit. I don't get the context. So this is something we need to probe further, probably because of time constraint and editing. Yeah. But I don't understand it because the assembly man or assembly woman, whatever, sits in the assembly. The number of assemblymen make up like the board of their assembly. So the assemblyman should have brought this to the attention. But I think they should be able to find a way to do this. If it's self-help, I don't really understand the self-help context properly. From
the self-help is where the community
comes back and puts things together to make their life easy. But with what he's saying, if the community is not able to, and from what the people are saying, is something that recurs. It's recurring. It's been there for a long time, whenever it rains. So this was a problem that was foreseen. It's not like it's taking them away. Bad bridge, fine, but it's usable during the dry season and rainy season is bad. So this is something that they could have nipped in the bud without it becoming things. But when it comes to some of these things...
Who could have nipped in the bud?
The assemblyman up to the municipal assembly, because the local government set up as structures. The assemblyman of the electoral area is the go-to person. So if it's a self-help project, it's the assemblyman that should be leading this with some opinion leaders or whatever. So we need to, I think it would be good to talk to the assemblyman, but I don't also think that the MC should sit down with what is happening and wait for their assemblyman to write to him, because these are kids in distress.
Before you continue,
we don't need to wait for any of them.
So this is just like one out of hundreds and thousands of some of these issues in our various communities.
Yes.
And it's happening, except for the fact that Metro News captured this, and so we're using this as a representation of what has been happening across the country in various communities. So take note, all assemblymen, MCs, DCs, local government officials, wherever you are. Maybe as we're doing the analysis, you pay attention to it and see if there are similar community problems as these in your environment. Let us know. We'll come and capture and then expose the issue. But coming back to the assemblyman, I don't know how we know how the local structure is, but in terms of deployment of resources, I don't know how. I don't know if I should say easy or how efficient it is for these local government officials to be working. Because if we say, oh, okay, so it starts from the assemblyman from the bottom, but is the assemblyman capable of finding the solution to this problem?
He's been, the fact that he's the assemblyman, doesn't mean he's going to do everything on his own. He's an assemblyman for an electoral area. The electoral area has citizens within that's his catchment area. He is to show the way and lead it. Because obviously, even as the assemblyman, he will not know everything that is happening in every part of the electoral area until his attention is drawn to it. You get it? So with this, I don't know whether your correspondent spoke to the assemblyman. It would be good to know what he has gone through. He has gone through too. But for some of these things, like I'm saying, there are processes, no doubt. But when some of these life-threatening things happen, I think the assembly should also look at it rather than waiting for the assemblyman, because this is someone that you deal with periodically. This is someone who is part of your assembly. If they are not up to their task, you need to whip them in line.
I just are saying there are rules, but there are exceptions to the rules.
So I will appeal to the MCE to take it up. He shouldn't sit down and wait for the assemblyman, because these are children. These are not adults that can get in. From what the teacher said, is practically impeding access to education.
If you can have the video play, so people will appreciate where we're coming from.
Because this doesn't have to end up, God forbid, the next report you're hearing, one child is hurt or the other. Maybe if you had gone further, you'd have heard some of these stories, but these are not things that should be, and especially when it becomes a serious problem during the rainy season from their account. But we need to probe this further. For me, there's more to it, but like I said, the MCE should take a step to rectifying this problem before we have any disaster on our hands.
Kabi, I know you have a thing for kids.
First of all, let me commend Obodai Ashon for this reportage. He usually has one program or the other following
Community Watch.
Community Watch, following your morning show.
Right.
And I do watch his work sometimes. So let me commend him for bringing this to our attention. I'm glad you're running this thing again, because you see, obviously they've built a culvert over this stream. And I think that the assembly could have just filled the ends of the culvert to level this thing, and this whole thing will be completed. But obviously somebody did not complete this project and left it, so somebody else came to improvise. With these planks of wood. Immediately, I think that the assembly should try and mobilize some laterites. You could pick it around the catchment area and then just fill the space and then have it more trouble and safer for these children. I'm glad you also showed the feature on the Galamsey before you show this video. I am for the banning of excavators. And, oh yes, I don't hide it. I am for the banning of excavators because we need scrap metal. And we need strong scrap metal. Why are you laughing? We need scrap metal.
See where it comes
yes. Who is laughing? Because you see, these bridges, this community could do with a very solid bridge. And I am for banning of excavators, melting them, molding steel frames, giving it to engineers' regiments to go around and build as nice, solid bridges, flashy yellow bridges, so that anybody who crosses it will see that this is a remnant of the Galamsey fights, and we've turned it into something useful. So this is Honorable Dompre's constituency. Yes, perhaps if his assembly will waste time, he could also use some portion of his MP's funds to try and complete the project. Or they find whoever was doing the contraction on this project and call him to come and complete the work.
I don't know
because
where the MC
this is rather unsafe.
Was interviewing. I'm wondering if he goes over this bridge to go to his office.
I doubt, because this is a death trap. These planks are not It's not even secured properly. That's why the kids are afraid. Because if you are working on this thing and it shifts, that's injury. If there are nails in these woods,
give us the video.
If there are nails in this wood and it scratches any child, that is tetanus.
We want the video.
And if they fall into the stream, that is also could possibly be shallow drowning. I don't know, but I think first things first, they should find some laterite and level the culvert, fill the culvert up, and then get rid of those wooden planks. And then let's find some excavators, melt them, get some nice steel frames, and go out there and build the people of Ghana good bridges. This is just a one.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Because if you follow the reports, there are some of the bridges that even vehicles pass on it.
So if you look at the bridge, I don't know if the video can be reversed. If you look at the bridge, you would see that I think there are trees that were cut at some point. They cut off the trees so that they will get a base on which they will put these slabs. So you see on the side and side there are some trees that have been cut. Can you see that? Or I don't know if they just brought in logs to, put them in the stream.
The contractor should be called back to come and complete his project.
But this project, how does it look like a yesterday project? This looks like...
But I hope we are not going to leave it just as showing the video.
Oh, no, of course not.
No, don't just leave it.
Community Watch that is the work of Community Watch, so we definitely will follow up.
Good.
But we also want to help put it out there before we hear any child having drowned in this.
Honorable don't remember Roads and Transport Committee. Please, this one there doesn't befit your constituency. I beg. And then Nana Hesi Ojiri, I think that's his name, if I got it correctly.
Nana Hesi Ojiri?
Yes.
That's his constituency?
Yes. Every time they text into shows, they add, it's a word, Ad Ojiri. They should do something about this. And then, but Annie, this issue of bridges across the country, not just footbridges, but vehicular bridges, as I was saying earlier, there are some bridges that commuters drive vehicles over, especially in the rural areas. And even if you tell me to park my car and walk over it, I won't, not to talk of go with the car. So I think that government should take priority, make the priority to look at how to fix some of these bridges and to draw to build that connection between communities. As for the excavators, if we bend them, let's melt them and turn them into good scrap steel frames and use it to build bridges.
Let me pick these before we go for a break, and then we'll come back to Henry. This one says that last week I saw a small tube of yam costing 20 Ghana cedis in town.
It's true.
And I asked myself, is Ghana a desert or just a form of punishment because of bad leadership? A bottle of medium-sized Coke, which I used to buy for 4 Ghana cedis, is now 6 Ghana cedis. TNT and everything is increased. The hardship, is it true? You went to buy yam yourself?
Yes. On Saturday.
Maybe I haven't bought yam because they tell me the yam in town, it doesn't taste good now. So I don't buy yam again.
I bought that
until I get Puna to buy. Cost of census has been hijacked, all in the name of party needs. Oh, come on. The cost of census is not related to party needs money. So please. This one is from Nana Ma Brown, Kruchi. No. He says her regards to Nana Ma Brown is from Dr. Down Blow from Brimso Aposika. You sent that in. Margot says that, good morning, ladies. Annie, the central government under the Ministry of France can buy Sputnik V from the middleman. Okay, I haven't picked it up, but I captured it. Without the knowledge of the parliament, they award contracts to a foreign company like Frontier Healthcare Services without the knowledge of Parliament. Yet the MC is asking the assemblyman of the area to request for the bridge so he can consider when the budget is reviewed. Ghana is bleeding. Okay, it's connected to the story we just played. She's trying to... Let me pick... Yes. Trust my go, So
I
hear
another husband who told us to go and fix ourselves. His constituency is looking for him to come and fix this.
No, he took it back. He apologized for saying that. So please let's recognize the apology.
His constituency needs him to fix this.
So Obama Pokwase says that he bought yam, tubers of yam from Pokwase market at 15 Ghana cedis. 2 tubers at 15 Ghana cedis.
It depends on where you buy it.
So maybe it depends on where you buy it.
It depends on the size and which variety. If you are buying puna, like, forgive me, I opened this, like this size, 3 of them is 20 cedis. And then you buy an average tuber like this length and this width, 20 cedis. Some 30 cedis. Some can go as high as 50 cedis. If you doubt me, go to Ashaman.
So Christian from Ashaleboche says, Annie, the planting of trees initiative is good, but the question is, who is doing the watering and the monitoring? Hyping of Green Ghana slogan and catchphrases alone will not protect the trees. I'm with you on that one, planted. Someone has to be in charge to ensure Ghana money is not wasted. Even some of the location where the trees have been planted is problematic. I hope the hype will not just was not just for the cameras. I hope so as you are. And that's why I'm busy asking questions of, you know, the plan, so that as media, it's our job to follow the plan and ask questions according to the plan we see. Henry from Koforidua says, Annie, please, do you know we still don't have textbooks in our villages? The government's basic schools, after the introduction of new curriculum for more than 2 years, but I thought the books were out. As we speak now, private schools are using textbooks approved by NACA, while the government schools don't have same. At the end of the day, the government and private schools will be embarking on the same exams. It's very sad we are treating our future leaders like this. This all in the name of politics.
What school is he talking about? Because when you make some of these things and give details,
you need to let us know. So he says he's texting from Koforidua, from Koforidua, in our various government basic schools. So I think that we should be checking the
a couple of weeks ago was calling for materials.
A couple of weeks ago, someone made a statement like that in covering I've forgotten that part of the country, and the person was asked to bring details, and the person wasn't able to. So if they give details, then it's easy to follow up. Because if schools are using...
Because
government has given schools books out. So if there's a specific school that doesn't have it, give the details. Don't just make a general statement as if there are no schools.
But it's a general issue
in the system.
They don't have
so that the specifics. Look, there's a system.
Henry, if
probably the distribution hasn't gotten there, or something happened with their bit of the allocation. These things happen. If we give specific,
I'm sure Henry
then
is
it's
still
easy
watching.
to
kindly
follow
send us specific schools, because if the books have been distributed and maybe some schools have still not gotten it, we wouldn't know. Government must know, or maybe government even knows. You never know. So send us some of the names that you have of the schools. Gabriela, so Mystic Wonder inside in Nsawam Adwejui sent us a message. He says that good morning to you and your crew. He says the Nanado government, and I'm trying to edit your message. Some things I want to read here. So he says that the Nanado-led government has put Ghana into the reverse gear. NAPCO workers are not being paid after they plant trees. Prices of goods and services are skyrocketing, and Ghana is bleeding. I thought you would, okay. He says that I hope this Green Ghana project is not another empty sloganeering without maintenance. My regards to the hard-working MP, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. I thought you had Honorable Adwejui in your constituency. I mean, what's his name?
No, Anodon
Prenyo, because you be, you know, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, the people of Mepe in the Northern constituency fix the country, you see. And you didn't say anything about this constituency, the bridge that we just showed. Mine was Puna. Okay, so Obama says that his yam that he bought was Puna. The bigger size.
You bought 2 for 15
like,
cedis, so probably check where you're buying it.
So
what's Obama say? You didn't add your name. Okay, Fawaz in Amasama, he says that what Obama is saying is true. I bought 4 tubers of yam at 30 Ghana cedis yesterday at Amasaman. What type of yam was it? Me, I like puna. That's what I want. So if it's puna, then I can also, you know, go and buy some. Or maybe I'll let you buy it.
You can also check from Ashaman Runabout if you doubt my end of the story.
Henry got back about the education, the school, the books. He says that, Annie, please, can you find out from the Ministry of Education? I am not saying they don't have notebooks. What I mean is basic schools don't have approved textbooks. You can come to...
So all the schools in
Dongwano, sorry. Dongwano Primary School. I don't know if I'm getting the name right, but Dongwano Primary School in Yilo Krobo Municipality. So write it down. Dongwano Primary School, Yilo Krobo. And many other schools, we don't have the teaching and learning materials. No textbook for basic schools. And that's for a fact. Okay, we've heard. So we'll check that as well. All right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana here on Metro TV. We want to take a break. And then when we come back, we'll speak with Henry Kwesi Bedu from Metro News newsroom. There's something about mining. We'll talk about him, and then other issues we'll touch on it. So we'll be back shortly.
Need a little help? Nobody does it better. At UCS Facility Management, we give you the best in janitorial services, which include high-rise window cleaning, office cleaning, post-construction cleaning, facade washing, deep cleaning, carpet cleaning, swimming pool cleaning, and event janitorial services. Locate us at Jowolu, JA Plant Pool premises, or call us on 0501 666 322 or 0203 299 212 or 0203 299 234. UCS, your property is under our care.
Blood gives life. Blood is very important. Let's donate blood to save lives. On Saturday, June 19th, 2021, Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM humbly invite you to be part of blood donation exercise at the premises of Metro TV, close to Alisa Hotel on Dr. Isert Street at North Ridge in Accra. The exercise will start at 7 o'clock in the morning. It is in commemoration of the World Blood Donation Day. Join us Save Lives as we donate blood for the Blood Bank. This exercise is in partnership with Blue Skies, Pharma Nova, and 3Fair. Share to save a life.
There's a place for people like you.
Welcome back. We're still on Good Morning Ghana, and we're touching on the issue of Galamsey. But quickly, let me put this one across. So there's a message, or there's a story, news coming in indicates that there is a mentally challenged woman around Kaswa, just before Pink FM. So reports is that she is carrying a newborn baby, and she's sleeping by the roadside, and the baby is awake. So there's obviously a life threat there, or a life-risking activity going on there. So we'll get the police, we'll plead with the police to get there as soon as possible. The location is just before Pink FM. So if authorities are listening, kindly get there or get your men on the ground to save the baby from any further risks. And if we can move the woman from there, so I think it will be better. Let's call for another video coming in from Henry Kwesi Bedu from Breman, and it's all effects from Galamsey.
13-year-old Fabetia is being laid to rest in the Brofuyedro community of the Central Region after she died in a Galamsey pit which collapsed 2 weeks ago. Her 25-year-old nursing mother, Yasantwa, painfully narrates how her daughter was engaged in a Galamsey activity that eventually killed her. According to her, her daughter was advised not to go to the site on that fateful day.
Two months in Pumi now, now Chibako, and a million so quadma. But I just said, my man and quat, my banner, my man and quat, or so about quama. My man quattros or quasito, or so a quasito. And I'm a palm on the 7 man and quat, a manunia be dancing man quat, and also about quat. Miss Meta, I may want to make Obusuba and so, my banner.
2 other persons died from the pit collapse, and the community is still in shock and despair.
This is the Galamsey site that on May 26, 2021, caved in and allegedly killed 3 persons. According to reports that we heard earlier, claim that about 40 persons were trapped beneath the rubble. An excavator was brought here on May 27 and also May 28 to try and remove some of the bodies that earlier report claimed that they were beneath the rubble.
The site of the incident is almost deserted, with only few people here counting their losses. The Member of Parliament for the Upper Dintra West constituency, Daniel Ohene Darkon, and his team toured the site after the incident happened. He wants government to properly streamline the activities of illegal miners.
Government must do something about it. Try to regularize it. You know,
you're also part of the government.
You know, in the NDC manifesto, I'm sure you are aware of it. They said they were going to regularize it. By regularization, we were thinking of teaching them how to do it safely. Okay. That is what we meant by
that. Would be the
only for now. Else, look, no matter how many troops you bring here, it will not succeed.
So you think Operation What will not succeed?
Oh, we have had Operation Vanguard and what name them? So many operations dating back to 2017. Galamstop. What did we see? At the end of the day, they even picked the excavators, and the excavators got fun.
The assemblyman for the area, Francis Ejapon, said leaders of the community were not even aware there were people working on the site.
To be frankly, as I said, the site has been abandoned. So the people came to work here midnight, whereby you were asleep. Had it not been an incident.
But the reports that you were given, how long had they been working here?
For the in terms
of days, you wouldn't
for the number of days, I wouldn't know, because as at last week, I came to monitor. When you come here in the daytime like this, you don't see anybody working here. You don't see anybody working here. So they come in the night to, you know, steal and then work, because by then the farm, the owner of the land might be asleep, and then no security may be around. Okay. So when they come and work, and then they leave.
The residents pray the catastrophe never happens again. Henry Kwesi Bedu, Metro News, Breman Brofuyedro.
And Henry Kwesi Bedu is the gentleman that's leading the news team as the country fights Galamsey. He's joined us via Zoom. Henry, if you can hear me, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. So tell us about the fights that the news team is actually, championing now.
All right. So as part of, government's effort to clamp down, that is the renewed effort to clamp down on illegal mining in the country, we tried to visit some of the illegal mining communities in parts of the western region, parts of the Ashanti region, parts of the central region, and also parts of the western north region. I mean the Asankragua area, to see, what has been happening on the ground. For sure, we'll be bringing people reports on government burning excavators, but we went to some of the communities, as I've said earlier, places like Ankobra, where there is River Ankobra. When you get there, for that place, a lot of the persons in the community are very happy and excited that government effort in burning excavators has made their, the river is regaining its glory, and they are very excited about it. Aside River Ankobra that we saw, most of the other rivers that we've seen, and some of the stories that we've shown viewers throughout last week, shows that most of the rivers, if I see rivers, River Pra, River Ofin, River Butre, the earlier story that was shown, you could see that the turbid nature is still high, or most of these rivers looks very muddy, and residents in these communities are using, the rivers, some of them to cook, others drink them without treatment. They don't boil it or put any chemicals in it. They just, drink them. And we've spoken to the health director of, one of these municipalities, that is the Hunter West municipality, Mr. Timothy Ofoy, who says that there is a high, there is an increased number in the number of defects in these communities, meaning that most children are now born without eyes and ears. We spoke to him somewhere last week. So for some of the rivers, aside River Ankobra, that is regaining glory, as is being shown on the screens now, the Butre River is yet, the Pra River, the Ofin River, somewhere in the, Asen North, right after Kennedy Apon's constituency, the Asen North constituency, where Praso is, the river looks very turbid in nature. That is the high turbidity rate is there. So that is what we are looking at. People are very excited and happy that government is burning these excavators, but they are yet, aside River Ankobra, they are yet to see the real impact of Operation Hot that was started by the government some 2 months ago, Annie.
So, for example, the Butre River, in the video, someone actually said that they use alum sometimes to purify the water before they drink it. How often do they do that, and how do they get access to this alum? There
was another person in this video who even says that it is very difficult for him to buy sachet water. So, that looks like a little bit of a tall order, getting residents to put alum in the water. Of course, we've learned in the little chemistry that we know that when you put alum in water, it purifies it a bit. But does it take away the chemicals, that is the dangerous chemicals that is being used by these illegal miners? When you talk about mercury and some of the other chemicals, the cyanide and the things that they use, in the activities. If you put alum in water, do we have any study which shows that if you put alum in water, it takes away these chemicals? Is that the case? This is for even the people who are able to afford the price of alum. I've not asked them, I don't know the price. But if someone says that I am unable to purchase sachet water, which is, in those areas costs like 20 pesos per one sachet, if the person will take like 10, as we've learned in science, a day, that is like 2 cedis. Or if he's even buying the pack, that is 3 or 4 cedis. But this person doesn't have the money to afford the sachet water. So if this person is also pressed with going to buy alum, which I don't know the price, but I'm sure it may cost like 10 cedis or something, then the person will go on and take the water as it is. Some of them fetch it through their homes, don't put any chemical in it, just drink it. And we saw children in these videos drinking it. The side effect that will come along with it is yet there will be a long time side effect in relation to the river water that they are taking, as we've heard from the municipal's head director last week.
How is the Metro News team championing this fight?
So, as I said earlier, in line with government Operation Hot, we went to these places to bring reporters. Other reporters will be bringing today. We'll be bringing a report from a community called Bonsa. Anyone who knows the Western region, Bonsa is where Ghana's only Thai factory is. It's now defunct. It was defunct, I think, somewhere in 1999. But River Pra runs through this community. Right. There are children in this community who swim in this river, most of them use this river water for their livelihood, for cooking, for washing, drinking, and even drinking. You hear people complain about it. These children who bathe in this river or swim in the river, the effects that will come along with it. So we've brought report, as you've asked earlier, we've brought report from Ankobra, we've brought report from River Butcher, we've brought report from, this today's will be that from Bonsa, that is specifically from the Pra River. We'll be bringing a report from a community called Bipos, where River Pra also runs, people complaining or lamenting the nature of the river in this community. So we'll be bringing you a series of this report, and we are looking at climaxing it with a town hall meeting with, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapo, also the Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Madam Cecilia Benadapa, and you saw some of the a member of parliament in the Upper Dincha West community, Daniel Ohineda, can also speak. We are looking at getting him into the studio. We are looking at getting the Minister for Religious and Chieftaincy Affairs, who is also MP for the Ahanta West constituency, where the Butre River runs. So we'll be putting together all these stakeholders, together with the former Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Inus Kapusedi, as part of a town hall initiative to find solutions to, this. It looks like Operation Halt is working in some parts, but in other areas, they are yet to see, as the videos that you see on your screen, people are still undertaking or doing this illegality, which is causing a lot of problems for, the ordinary Ghanaian who lives in this community. So that is what we are looking at doing. We are hoping to find a date or to get a date to bring together all these stakeholders, these major stakeholders in the illegal mining, that is the chain, to speak to get some solutions to the issues as we've shown in the report or the series that we've brought our viewers.
Just a quick one before you go. How will the ordinary person contribute to this, campaign that Metro News has also started? If they want to contribute, aside the high-level stakeholders, the low-level stakeholders, how can we also partake in it?
So we are looking at, they can join us on the phone. If it is possible, we can't get all of them to speak. If they can join us via phone to tell us some of the issues on the ground, so that this high level or highly powered stakeholders or stakeholder engagement that we're bringing our viewers, they should also contribute and bring, so they find solutions for them. That is what we can do to help them. Those who can join us via Zoom, those who have internet in their communities can join us via Zoom and also on the phone to try and deliberate and find a lasting solution or bring finality to this Galamsey menace in our communities.
Thank you so much. So we'll be following up with how this fight will go and then also contribute our quota to it. Thank you for joining us here on Good Morning. So that's Henry Kwesi Bedu, the man at the forefront of Metro News team, championing the fight of Galamsey, supporting government in the Operation Halt activity. I realized you were nodding your head. Do you like the campaign?
Yes. I think it's a very good initiative that we continue having a conversation and to inform and educate and then get everybody abreast with the current situation with all the stakeholders. The military and the Ministry of Defense will do their part in going to the communities to clamp down, but we also need the media to be able to bring stakeholders from the community, from the ministry, from the Small Miners Association, all the various groupings to sit down and continue to dialogue on the impact that the Operation Halt is making and what are the challenges and what new initiatives should come in to augment and then to continue with the fight. There's something that I find interesting, and that I think the Ministry of Lands and Forestry and the Ministry of Defense, working through the Ghana Armed Forces and the other security agencies, should also try and follow with the media. Because this is like the third or fourth reportage I've seen of media cameras showing those platforms back on the river. I keep messing up that name, so I don't want to pronounce it. Shangfine or something. Shangfine, yes.
So far, Henry has, worked with the Butcher River, the Pra River, the Ofin River, and he also went to
But those devices are back on the waters. So it means that even though the Operation HOT have passed through and dealt with, people are back there again. So
they are monitoring.
They should go back and be, they should go back and be doing recognizance on the places where they've been. And if there are people who are still breaking the law and getting back on the river to mine. I think also that, when it comes to this fight against calamity, I'm a very radical person. To be very honest with you, I have no qualms with the military shooting down those platforms from the sky. And I say very regularly that even if you could use unmanned drones to just target and blast those Shangfines, if you don't want to attach emotions to it, then you do the job with drones. So just blast them on.
So this is practically you're calling for war.
I'm not calling for war. I'm just calling for radical solutions to fight this thing. Because you see, if the people
radicality can go extreme, where the people can also react.
Sometimes you have to be extreme because their actions is affecting millions downstream. If you blow up their platforms, right? The next time they even see a bird in the sky, they will confuse it for a drone, and nobody will go attempting to put a platform on any river. Now, to look at this more holistically, if we deal with this on the streams, we still have to go back and cut out the financiers of this business. We still have to go out and find the real owners behind these businesses. We still have to go out and find out the people who are helping to build and assemble these platforms to be used on these rivers. We still have to go back and at the port of entry, clamp down on importers of these platforms coming into the country, because nobody goes and buys a Shangfine and puts it in their veranda. We all know where it's headed to. And so long as it's going to go on a river, at the port of entry, whether through the scanning operations procedure or physical inspection procedure, those equipments are not allowed in. Even if they come back in fragments, and they get blacksmiths to help them to assemble them. Make it so illegal that no blacksmith wants to even be associated with helping to fabricate the
So you decentralize the rules to the most basic people
you fight it from various fronts, not just having military go
into the field.
Because if, as we've seen, they clear the place and then some people will come back and assemble on the river again. And they may not be able, because of logistics, and they not being everywhere at the same time, they may not be able to come back to a particular river in time to stop this. And if you monitor how these miners work, they move very fast. So they could be in one location today, tomorrow. In a couple of days, they've shifted their operations again. So sometimes I understand the logistical challenges the military may have in having to come back and clear all of it again. That's why you need to have this multi-layered approach to fighting it. But I think that so far, looking at the nature of our rivers, they are becoming much more clearer, much more lighter. So I think that the approach is working.
I actually think that the land reclamation and maybe the water will be faster than I thought. I thought it probably would take years, but it can actually take just months to reclaim our water.
It depends on how polluted that particular river is.
The turbidity nature.
Yes. And then it also depends on a lot of the activities that happen upstream of these rivers. Because if they have much more tributaries that are pumping in water into the main river, then obviously it clears faster. But in instances where we've killed, we haven't, galamseyers have killed some of the tributaries, that will make the process take a little more time.
Right.
But I don't know how we deal with the chemicals.
Like the mercury.
Like the mercury and the cyanide.
That would be our job.
That has a consequence in agriculture. So,
right. Laratia.
This fight against galamsey can only be won together. And it's not something that anybody should think is affecting only people living in those communities that those mining approaches are being used. I mean, some of these river bodies flow through multiple districts and multiple towns and villages. The whole practice affects every facet of our, should I say, well-being. Because if it's gotten to a point where people living by water bodies cannot even use that source of water for even domestic activities, it's not something anybody
I mean, imagine the video we played the first time before the children in Adoeji constituency.
Yes. So you find yourself in a village. We know that in our villages,
the food is nice.
Food is cooked naturally, no additives. Then you go and you virtually consume mercury. Probably they use it to cook groundnut soup, and you end up consuming mercury.
Even if it's light soup, you won't know.
Well, so this is not a fight that anybody should joke with. And I like the bit of the media coming in, because fundamentally the success of this fight is hinged on awareness creation and bringing people up to speed and educating them as to the importance and how important this fight is. Like Gabi said, the river bodies flow, but water from other sources flow into it. So if now we have people blocking these water bodies and forming pools of water that doesn't flow, you have them stuck there. No fresh water is going into these river bodies. It will take longer than expected for it to flow. So this fight is a fight for everybody, because it affects our health, it affects our education, it affects the food we eat. Look, the water bodies are polluted. We virtually, most of our communities survive on rain. We use it to irrigate our farms. At the end of the day, to the soil that we plant our foods is already polluted. So it's not even about just watering. It's about the soil that we are even planting these foods in. So it's not about, because you don't know where the food from probably a place around Praso or Inofin will get to in any part of the world.
But is the government going to go a step further to not just send out the task force into the mining sites to be driving away people and burning of excavators, but we'll also focus on checking our soil polluted level and see what measures we can put in place to reclaim the land? Do we have any plan?
When you follow the big mining companies, they're able to reclaim the land over a period of time. So they mine in a certain area, move. It takes a number of years to reclaim the land. But the well-established mines have the capacity,
the technical know-how
to do that. We've had mining companies in this country, and like
are you sure they reclaim?
Yeah, they do. It's part of the.
They plant a lot of. It takes time.
Okay.
Because
we'll have to check.
That's why someone is to tell you the gold moves because they mine at a certain point. I remember even in Obuasi at a point, they resorted to surface mining. They were not doing mainly the deep pits mining. The approaches change. But these bigger mining companies, that's why licenses are given. Because you are given a license to operate within a certain remit and do certain things to reclaim the land when you are done. So like washing of the gold. A responsible mine should be digging boreholes, not blocking tributaries. So you dig your borehole, you're done with it. Whatever you do to reclaim it, they do. But the moment you block a tributary, that's you blocking fresh water from going into the rivers. So those technicalities are things, and the forum that was held wasn't just limited to just clamping down on it. There are discussions on alternative livelihoods and all that. Obviously, these people are, that's their source of livelihood. So if we are keeping them out of it, their sources of the discussion is broad. It's not just about sending the military out there to stop. It's broader than.
So let's spend this time to also do this. Farouk from Tema says that, good morning, Annie, and if people choose to go to buy their foodstuffs from Kempinski, like Kempinski-like markets, it's their own problem. I buy from Ashama market and I get exactly my money worth. Farouk, he continues to say that Galamsey fight is a shared responsibility that needs all of us committed. Winning it by such comments from the Honorable Daniel Ohinedako and some political propagandists will not help us not help us in the fight at all. It is good they are trained and regularized to mine safely, but until then they should stay away from the further damage of our environment. Farouk is the one that sent that in. Mr. Atabwade says that Honorable Atabwade is former member of Parliament for Busa South constituency. Busa North, okay. So he says that again, Annie, my heart blew when I watched the incipient death trap which the future leaders of our dear nation is meandering their way to school. And I asked myself, what legacy and future we as leaders are carving for our beloved children. Yeah, the public procurement officer, Jenny Meje Boateng, has taken millions of dollars in Ghana cedis to his private account, and it is a question of lack of resources. Is it a question of lack of resources or lustful and insatiable greed? Who at all broke the umbilical cord when Africa was giving birth? Honorable Atabwade sent that in. He says that you ladies are looking beautiful, and these economic challenges and hard times, I wonder if the economy was good, how you girls would have looked like Timothy Atabwade. I don't know, that was a lighter note. Thank you for that, Honorable. Thank you for the message. Someone is sending us how the work is going on TV, and he says, good work. Thank you, Francis, for that. He sent me a screenshot when the three of you were captured and you're reading your phone. So, Ayu Farouk from Tamale says, good morning to you all. In fact, the country is not moving on well. Everything is hard. The prices of goods and services are too high, and they've gotten to the highest rate. We need to indeed fix the country, you say. Henry came back. He says that, please, Annie, I'm speaking with facts that there are no books. Okay, I think I've read this already. That we're using books from NACA. So Laratu has taken that. He will take it to her people. She will take it to her people who would also, respond to this. But on the back of what you, Henry, sent, Honorable Clement Apak says, books have not been distributed. They are yet to be produced. Only last week, Thursday, the 10th of June, the Minister of Education was in the House to answer questions on when government will make approved textbooks based on the new curriculum available. He said the publishers were still producing the books. When I asked him to give Ghanaians a firm timeline, he said in about 3 months. So it's true that there are not textbooks supplied by government to our public basic schools currently. Dr. Apak, Deputy Ranking Member on Education Committee, he sent that in. So I think that answers the question of whether the books are ready or are not ready. But he says that this one, I took it when I captured the picture. So that's an answer to you. And thank you so much, Honorable, for the quick response there. Mystic says, Annie, I wish I could help my MP, Honorable Anodompre, to fix the broken bridge, but we all know his position on the Fix the Country movement. Yes, you know his position by when he apologized for the statement he made. Don't be mischievous.
Has he hired you as his lawyer?
He hired me as a journalist, and I'm a journalist, so I report what's been said. I'm a native Mepe in the North Tong constituency and a resident of Nsawam Adwedri. It's true that many basic schools do not have textbooks, and the details will be provided later. Thank you, Mystic, who is texting from Nsawam Adwedri. So now I understand why you are commending Honorable Okudzeto Blakwa. And the Honorable Atabwade is sending his regards to both of you. So good morning to you. All right, now it's time for us to wrap up. But before that, we'll give you the video we took from Nsawam Adwedri again, because we need answers for that. We don't want to hear any disaster.
You need a solution, not an answer.
We need a solution. Yeah, not an answer. But the solution is an answer, practically.
No, they should solve the problem. We've been talking too much.
Okay, let's go for the video.
We talk too much.
The absence of a bridge in the Mofra Fadrin community in the Nsawam Adwedri municipality of the Eastern region has been a major challenge to residents for years. It's always a terrifying situation for the over 80 pupils of the community each time they have to cross this dilapidated makeshift bridge to and through the only basic school in the area.
I feel so scared.
You feel scared?
Yes. Because last time, me and my sister was crossing the bridge and my sister fell into the water, so I feel so sad. I want them to come and correct the bridge for us, because the bridge is so terrible.
We have one school in the community, the only school in the community, and because the bridge is broken, children are not able to go to school. There's a population of about 80-90 students in the school, children in the school, but when it rains, only about 20 or 10 show up, which is very disturbing. Mothers are scared, children are scared to cross this bridge, and we are in the raining season. So the situation will be getting worse, and we are very, very concerned. We are very, very worried.
We had to pause the interviews at this moment because it was just about raining. The incomplete concrete and makeshift wood bridges are self-help projects by the community members. They appeal to authorities and humanitarian organizations to support them to complete the bridges.
We pray that you guys will help us. And I want you out there to help us to construct this bridge for us so we can go to school, educate these children so that they become a great leaders in future.
Municipal Chief Executive for the Nsawam Adwedri Municipality, Isaac Boabing, explains how the bridge will be fixed.
This is a community self-help project. So they have a budget allocation, which is a self-help project allocation. But if fund is not available, what we have to do is to review the budget. We are about to review budget. So the assembly member quickly should write, as a matter of urgency, should write in the form of a request to the assembly, so that if the self-help support cannot fix it for them, we'll inculcate it in our review budget.
Metro News and Community Watch will follow up and keep you updated. From Nsawam, this is Gabriel Ni Obodai Togbo-Ashon.
So, Gabriel Ni Obodai Togbo-Ashon, his name is longer than that. The other ones, I don't know, I may pronounce it wrongly, so I'm not going to tell. But that is a report coming in from the Community Watch team who put together some of these things. Someone sent me this on Facebook when we were discussing the tree planting, the 5 million trees. He says that, Annie, can you please check with Ochehene the 300 kg MPC gave him to plant trees, and what has happened to the trees he planted, if he did? And that's a question. Well, we'll follow up on that. I think the team, captured that question and sent it to me. So we will check with him. Just 1 minute each, and then we can wrap up.
No.
Gabriela, we have to go out of the tree before this girl actually sings me.
maybe she singed all of us. Annie, I mean, we've spoken about a number of issues. At the end of the day, we are all looking at how our nation will be developed and how we are citizens. But the fundamental thing is we can only do it together.
Right.
Like this Galamsey fight, we can only do it together. The people on the ground, citizens, are the ones who help from information on the ground. Those who do the implementation of those things, we effect it. It's both ways. So we just need to put up that attitude, that positive attitude, and build the nation that we all desire.
Right, Gabi.
Well, sure, we've spoken at length about quite a number of issues. I think that it's good we talk, but I think that we should back more of our speeches with action, because sometimes it gets tiring having to come and talk about the same things over and over and over again. After a while, someone like me, I usually get bored. I'm sure you can tell from my demeanor. So that bridge, the culverts, I think first things first. Was that the assemblyman or that was the DC who was saying that was the DC that they should write and request? He has seen the visuals and he wants them to write and request before he goes and solves the problem. Akufo-Addo, don't repeat this man again.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go on. But today is the birthday of Pius Enam Hajide.
And today's the birthday of Broja Jemfi. Happy birthday, Broja.
Broja Jemfi, today is his birthday. Okay. So Pius was a former information minister and now CEO of NYA. And let me also add this. I think there was also another birthday that was sent to me. I captured it from the beginning. It's the Honorable Mustafa Abdul Hamid. It was coming from his special assistant, Kessie. That is Faisal Ibrahim Kessie, who is an Esquire, personal assistant to the Honorable Mustafa Hamid. Also, happy birthday to you as well. We'll end it here. It's been a morning of natural environment and developmental issues here on Good Morning Ghana. Thank you, Larato, and thank you, Gabi, for coming through. My name is Annie Efampo. Thank you for watching. We're back again with Good Morning Ghana tomorrow with some more issues to discuss. Thanks for watching.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
All right, Mama Wakwaba Sunko Edoba Jumedia Yefeno the DeGraft Johnson Show. Onyanko Ponshao. Onshao Bium, no Sansu Inshao. The Dean the Reverend DeGraft Johnson. Na meneme kiu nini na Efiakra. Abi Pimo a Pedra Junction. A whole near day sa in Komotri ebro. Mami bi ewa menchen. Neba eyarena. Yatu yankra se yemra ni enyom bedi nkomo ni enhwe mmoa. Me no mienu ye betumi ede ama won. Enu nti ena ene ye de san komotwetwe ebro. Nenso ye ba ye de komotwetwe no ebe hyehye so. Okay, me try me ho amasanso ababiom uguso share the Graft Johnson show. Me din biom Reverend the Graft Johnson. Senia me kayans ha me kono me nua ba bi e wo me nchen a me ne no ebetwetwe enkomo. Ni din e de akosua Asamoah. Ono e na ne ba ye fe no Patience Ganyo. Eyare a emfie be enum ni de akoda no eyare na me pese ono ankasa e wo me nchen. Ono a kire yen ade a abanti a saya de abeswa ne ba wedi 7 years so mame bibi at saying ohuye bacho bi wani kaka me bi wano kaka mame ye fe ho saying
bacho me dini akosi asama
ufiri
bacho me fie ka pema dukrom
ekrapem edukrom nti apedwa junction wo ye den wa
bacho me bani yare yen achinchi na na ya be pie wa ha.
Okay, we bawo echinchenchi say odi akoda ne ba ne papa ho ana say utu firi bia wote na wabetena pedwa.
Bacho me tu firi bia metena na betena pedwa.
Okay. Ye mbo ni say oba no ye friend say ebrebe na wo no aha a woti oni be ma neti ana say wonkwa na woti.
Bacho me ni be ma neti.
Okay.
Me ba no me wo no no onye yarefo.
Okay.
Ewo no 90 or 90 kasai. Onye mfie mienu, oda sorry e wenti ni ansori.
Okay. Okay. Ye mbone kakaka. Ukani na yenye bimbisa ontinya wo chewa me. Abimbisa be ma no neti ha no. Eye wukunu, eye wunua, e wadamfo, eye woden.
Bacho me ni na ewo akwala.
Ni ewo akwala yi. Ye ba ye hunu wa owen.
Bacho kwafu.
Akwafum. Yes oye fom adwuma.
Bacho.
Na ababo te sen edema no.
Bacho abrabo ni nya bete me. Efisa abofre ya le o ha ni amani nko an.
Okay.
Otada bi mpa ya sere ansa ni yedi.
Akoda no uwo no hospital ben.
Bacho osino
hospital. Nti oyare no wasande na ko bebia wo no say amonhwa akoda ne ma wo.
Bacho amdino.
Uko doctor said den ne ba nti akoda ya ayese.
Bacho amdino ko e no se on yonti menchire adokodi potin ti enfa nko chebi. Yedi ni ko chebi. Chebi 40 years to ho omo na otwe omo munni de ye nti enfa nko kofodua.
Okay.
E kofodua roman. Ana mo so mbe na exercise no kure ni ye twa kwan ya edu baby no. Na ye scampo e de be kono na ebi mi ho. Nti ma ya te da ye nti mi anko de mo anto aso.
All right, Oshe the Graft Johnson show. Medin aye Reverend Richmond the Graft Johnson. Me pacho as me no ka say ya be pie mu ewo Apedwa Junction. Say fe bebi Aigbe town anamebwa. Ho na ye de sa nkomotwetwe e de ebreo. Na emom no se na maame ne eka no owo ne ba no na onye yarefo. Nanso after akoda ne di emfie mienu no no hunu se bibi asesa ewo akoda ne ho. Nti ode akoda ne ko Osino Osino clinic and hospital. Osino clinic. Eho eno owo akoda no. Nti ode ne ko doctor say omu hunu ade a eye akoda no nti no. Onfa akoda no enko kibi eye hospital. Ode akoda no ko kibi nso a doctor sinso say omu hu ade a eye no. Nti onfa akoda no enko Kofodua. Ema ode akoda no ko Kofodua Roman. Eho nso no omampa bi papa bia nka omo se mu ya akoda no exercise. Na exercise ni mu no na omanye sika biom nti a omantumi anko biom me pa chaw se na da meka no interview see ne de brewa na enye ne fesu nti ene de brew na mom se ne be ya ubetumi aboa omo a ye de omo ansem eba no ene nti na ye de sa story ebrew me pa chaw yi akwada no mentumi nhwe ne mienu because ne ho ofe yi nanso ya de abetu no kwam 7 years de owo emfie bebre won animu a obetwa me ne omienu ye ka ye ntoma ebo ano a ye betumi aboa no fa ne say 7 years akoda yi ye wo ba fa ne say ye wunua fa ne say ye wodofo bi na hwese se owo sa tibie mu a ebe ye woda na se enya wodade a na me sew se ena me ne wotwitwi nkomo yi eche se me ne omienu ye hwede ye betumi aye ne de aboa eye Patience Ganyo. Yes, your friend Equia. Or some so cra be deem me a quaku, no, your friend Equia. Just a Meshia Minia. O Cassa or te. Then so or no, on to mean Cassa and fa and chill. And I own to me so and sorry put no one ante. Miss Ray, a dear now between me a year. Now, dear boy, me back Patience, Ganyo. Number no a 024250 9753 024250 9753 024250 9753 a mobile account number. And na wo de send ya ne nso ya boa no ne de abema ne maame no de aboa kwada no ne de akwada no akọ hospital. Me pa cho number ni biom ya 024250 9753 024250 9753 ebia o se number no de we am bono no untumi entra wo hwe TV na se abon se number no egu ho kama no wacho na wo de amame na obetumi e de asende ebia no yeni ebeso eye 1 CD eye 2 CD eye 5 CD 10 CD ti ebe ka wakoma bia no yempo kitwa bia enso anunti no yesre na obetumi e de aboa patience ekua ganyo no yebeda wase me pacho ye ne sa fama yen e bia na wo send a wo si din a eda momo account ni so eye den eye Richmond DeGraft Johnson obi wo nso a opese oye sure say number no na or send sika no e de koso nti no wo be pese wo be free a me pacho free a mia na mefa na me ne wo edin komo number no biom eye 024250 9753 024250 9753. Medasi. Mami, masanso asan ba wonchen biom. Me pacho obey ever since untumi enanti ya wajai hospital ko. Edrobi wa wo ye edema no anase onye hwema ne kra biom. Aden.
Se ye nisika ye de be amuchire baby ye ko ayiska 70. Ni yeska ni fanko na betene fi.
Ebra akoda ndia na wo de ne ko hospital no. Na utua sika sen asoma ye exercise.
Exercise ngam ka so mo ngi yeska itiminya role fe ne badi.
Na efi akọ Roman. Na sen.
Bacho na 15 cedis.
15 cedi ekoba na say ekope. Ekoba 15 Ghana. Na do ne ko every day and I say 3 days in a week. Na say okaboma na say 45 cedis a week. Na okunu ye adwuma sa sika no onya ma wo.
Bacho me ku onya adwuma.
So say odo kakra. E nkofofu ana ono ane dia.
Bacho nkofofu pa na yoko.
Okunu wedi sen wonim mfia okunu edi.
Bacho 38 years.
38 years. Obayari ye wabo abusuafo amane say ade a atoni.
Bacho mabama abusuafo amane. Makwa obia mfi me kwa muso mu ni bi amde bebo am. Ya nanti omuswa. Me ku abusuafo obia so ni bi. Amde bebo aye.
Nti wo sori anopa wo si dan na wo hwa akodan.
Tele bi obi na ya onu anu ati bi amayedi. Ebu on so yakotete maku. Mama mam 5 cedis na dia better dia nyama nedi.
Moku onkofofu mu. Okay. Yes, one kasa die. Maybe any way apart from say wo hwa akodan.
Kacho mesi adwuma so manya boafo bi amwa minti. Antimi anto adwuma no so yi.
Adwuma be na usia e.
Etre.
Echeye. What did you say?
32 years.
32. And I also committed 38 years. When the science fear best saying
7 years.
7 years. So we shall quite a I don't know where.
The baby I mentioned, I miss soon. It's a meeting I know when I miss again. Look at me. It's a make us a union. I bear fast and said if I no better. And so
okay. Uguso share the DeGraft Johnson show. Madam me hwaba me ba ye beto aso. All right, Madam me hwama sanso ababium. Uguso share the DeGraft Johnson show. Nyame enhia se odaso ehwe dwumadie medin e the Reverend DeGraft Johnson. Mame e wo me nchen a mede no eba besi nenso se mame kasa wi a nipa ko a enam ne so ema ye behu akodai ene ne bedi nkomotew ne ewia ye de dwumadie ne nina esi mame me pacho me ma wakonya Ghana for show e die na pese omoye e de
You're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain.
I'm sure me be na ne ho asan obi nim de da cho ba be ya ma oman Mesre Ghana for nyina kakra bia nsa omumboa me omuhu me mobo na me ba ne ho ntono esre Ghana for.
Okay, esana ma meneka obano. That means that obejane na obedun so ni na jegu no ko me nso obo pampers. Oh. No kasa kabika se obejane na. Okay. All right. Enti me pacho na me do besi. Me da na me ho. Me ba e beto ase na emom no me pacho. Senia ma meneka no kitu bia nsa. Ya betumi aye na wo de aboa eye patience ekuya ganyo. Genesa mama me pacho enhwe me. Enhwe ma me no hwakwada no na hwe nyakopon. Na boa no me pacho. Me bia me ka se onyanko da. Ene wo da. Ti mesre kakra betumi aye. Edi aboa me be ye fama no number ne bio eye 0242509753 0242509753 me dane me ho a me all right me twa me ho a masanso ababium uguso hwe the DeGraft Johnson show me din the Reverend DeGraft Johnson me twa me ho me kan say onipa kwa enam ne so ema ye ba apedwa ha no ewo me nchen eno nti no mema na chiemu ba ko mienu na afei no ye de we esi Hilda it is saying
ashayo
biaboko
ashan
okay una ofre yen na odi yen aba me bisa say uside na hu mami ene ne ba
me pacho na me ofie ana me ma me bai ose we hu mami bi odwen no de ototo na no bisa ne se den na ekoso no kana asam kire ni no se ni me besi ni yenkohwe na me na ya metai hwe enkrofo a omuni bi wo TV sunte bia metumi aye bibia maba na msioki ti e baaye me be hweye na me adom de tu nsu animu no nso wan popoti ana wo de baaye.
Okay. So far ni de ye de won kan eni nti ye besan akọ na e pese ye de akoda ye ne ma me hye wonsa e de man ubehwe ne so ama ye wo mu abema ye information na ya hwe ahia den a ebetumi aye e de aboa maame no ene ne ba but wo de e ba nti ma wo so wagine mu na wasere Ghana for say amomboa maame no ene ne ba no nti Ghana for sure
me fa show me a face da me do fear ha no mo no ene asama maame ne kan ye no eye me mobo ti de be se Ghana for se kitu bi enhwa obi nim de obeya daachi amaye nti de me se Ghana for se obi owo bibia one studio de obetumi de abo bia ye fa ne maame so ema odwen me ne kaso kanyam so onya eduro kra na kode be ma ne bana no mewu na ne ho ato no ti de se Ghana for say ye poma chomo be boa patience ema ye.
Okay, Madam Munina say munya adaje a share the DeGraft Johnson show. Me pacho and number now betumi e dia boa patience e 0242509753 0242509753 0242509753 me pacho me sure say patience woni wheelchair bia otiso oni bi enu ntino say ontumi nante ontumi sorry ontumi kranwea that means that wheelchair no ho behia no nti ebiom yetutu e de asre mo amohwe yen say wa obetumi adonate wheelchair e de amaye no me pacho mi ankasa metuka na mababeje anase ebia obepese obeto e de amakoda na ebo no ye 550 Ghana cedis wheelchair ba ko saa ene yeto no me kan say minim ne bo because ye tobi e de chairman for nti yenim ne bo 550 Ghana cedis eto wheelchair ba ko ene nti wa obetumi adonate ebi ediama eye patients nso ye beda wase so betumi nso ato ediama nso a ye beda wase ni enim se sika wo de be mayen na be ye ediama akoda yi unye emfanto unya ntwene nyankopon ebe hye wana mu nyame obehira wo meka se enye nipa enehira eye nyame enehira nti akoma pa obefa so a wo de behira sa akoda yi unyame behwe sa akoma pa nso na ode ono so de ehira wo menka se sika ne ye 1 cedi ana 2 cedi nti so se beka ho a obi so de beka ho a bonus na sika na dɔɔso ne yɛtumi ayɛ bibi ɛde ama akɔda yi mepakyɛw number ne biom ɛyɛ 0242 509753 0242 509753 wohwɛ TV na nso a wobɛhu sɛ number no ɛda hɔ ebi nso na wo send it wopɛ sɛ wohu no din a ɛda momo account ne so a ɛyɛ Richmond DeGraft Johnson Richmond DeGraft Johnson unya ho pa na wo hu sɛ wodam nti wo send a enko baby bɔne ɛbɛba yɛ nkyɛn ne aboaboa no ne de aboa akɔda yi mepakyɛw ebi nso a na wo so wo hwɛ yɛn wo say wo problem kɛseɛ pa da wo so mesrɛ wo ɛnyɛ ɛkɔmedeme asɛm ɛyɛ problem a ɛso ɛne pɛ sɛ yɛ solve nti mepakyɛw sɛ wo ni problem a yɛbɛsrɛ chai number no ɛma amanfo a ɛwo issues yɛtumi aboa wɔn ɛnso wo tumi so afrɛ the same number ɛyɛ 0242509753 0242509753 nyankopɔn hyira wo na onye okese se wo hwe the DeGraft Johnson show na sida biom en confirm me crew a me de omo eba apedwa ha eye sahene na opare na gina camera na chi editor esanso eye sahene na executive producer eye abena me a me di dwumadi hu chia me di the Reverend DeGraft Johnson yankopon hira wo na onye okese da sene ye besanso bo
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
March 2020. Panic, anxiety, distress. Ghana, a nation on partial lockdown due to COVID-19 global pandemic, seeking preventive solutions to ease these restrictions. The government was decisive.
The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development should coordinate with the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies measures to enhance conditions of hygiene in markets across the country.
In addition to strict enforcement of hygiene and safety protocols, the World Health Organization recommends regular mass disinfection as an important measure in controlling the spread of COVID-19. The government, through the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, partnered with Africa's waste management giants, Zoomlion Ghana, a member of the Jospon Group, for an ADOS national assignment.
Disinfection actually helps to reduce the spread of any virus or diseases. So the chemical we used was targeted at the coronavirus.
The task was to organize and execute an emergency nationwide disinfection and fumigation of markets, lorry parks, and public places in all 16 regions of Ghana within a 2-week period and subsequent phases of disinfection exercises. With Ghana's COVID-19 infection rate still a worry, the race against time was on.
Because Zoomlion was already involved in fumigation and disinfestation, we had some equipment. But with the volume, the quantum of work that we had to do to support the government, we had to quickly mobilize to get extra equipment. And it was possible because Zoomlion is the biggest waste management company and we are present everywhere nationwide.
This is where Ghana's waste management experts, Zoomlion and its subsidiary Vectopers and the entire Jospon Group, awed the nation with an impressive display of technical capacity unprecedented in the history of the country. 4 boom spray vehicles, 20 atomizer trucks, 10 pickup mounted atomizers, 15 fogger machine vehicles, and 20 industrial spraying drones led an artillery of modern disinfection machines supported by 3,200 motorized spraying machines, 2,000 knapsack spraying machines, 80 hand spraying machines, 20 hand fogger machines. A regiment of trained spray gangs totaling about 6,000 men and women, including 150 personnel from the Pest and Vector Association of Ghana, was prepared for the task. The spray gangs were supported by about 2,000 administrative staff, supervisors, coordinators and chemical suppliers to carry out this important national assignment.
Because it was a strange disease that we have not encountered before. So we wanted to be sure that all people especially with the spraying men and women who will be part of this exercise, were fit before we start the execution. So we have to camp all these people in a larger facility. We decided to drop all these people who were though even fit on the other spraying aspect, but not on the COVID exercise.
The nation was at war. State security and the military provided maximum cooperation by maintaining order and support for these spray gangs who were leading the assault on the deadly invisible enemy. Deployment was strategic, timers and expansive. Speed, zeal, efficiency, organization, safety and attention to detail. These attributes, characteristic of Zoom Lion activities, were once again evident in the spraying of every corner, shed, room, street and services. With the assistance of metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies and regional coordinating councils, markets, lorry parks, toilets, public places, security establishments across the country were thoroughly disinfected under strict health and safety procedures.
All our staff, we took them through intensive training about the harmful effect of the disinfectant that we were using at that moment, its usage, how to protect themselves from getting in contact with the disinfectant.
Our men on the ground were given the appropriate PPEs to wear, cover up every part of their bodies, including goggles. So they were safely dressed up for that kind of assignment.
The objective of the disinfection exercise was to use approved chemical-based disinfectants to deactivate microorganisms that may be present in these locations that experience large congregation of human traffic.
The market, we use both motorized spraying machines, and in some part of the market we use drone, where we have a larger diameter or larger dimension of the market, we use drone. Where the market has open roads, we use our small atomizers, and the atomizers, which was mounted on the pickups, were able to use the road in between the market, and they also help us.
Or hope in the people.
The special schools, we realized the need to get that place also prepared for them. So we carry them on our backs so that they can also survive the pandemic.
The Jowolu Special School, Akropong School for the Blind, Demonstration School for the Deaf, Mampong Krapim, were disinfected.
The gesture that Zoom Lion have exhibited today is an indication that they love the disabled in the society.
The offices, compounds, boats and other vessels of the Western and Eastern Naval Commands of the Ghana Armed Forces were also beneficiaries of this notable gesture by Zoom Lion Ghana. As the only international port of entry to be open to travelers, the Kotoka International Airport received a special disinfection procedure due to the nature of equipment installed there. The tarmac, domestic and international gates, arrival and departure halls, offices and car parks of Kotoka Airport, as well as local airports in Kumasi, Tamale and Wa were thoroughly treated with disinfectants. As a result of an improved COVID-19 case count, the Ghana government announced the systematic reopening of educational institutions. The Ministry of Education, confident of Zoom Lion's proven competence, engaged them for the disinfection of all educational institutions, all public preschools, basic schools, second cycle, tertiary and universities, TVET centers nationwide. Apart from the disinfection, these institutions were fumigated to eliminate or repel rodents, reptiles, insects, or any bug infestations that may be in existence.
Before, students used to struggle because of bed bugs. They had sleepless nights. Now I think this will help students to have a conducive atmosphere free from bed bugs, and they can have good studies in the school.
The story of how Ghana battled and prevailed against COVID-19 will forever be told with the mention of Zoom Lion Ghana for execution of the biggest and most expansive mass fumigation and disinfection exercise in the history of Ghana. In all, about 3,100 markets were disinfected, 1,249 police facilities, over 30,000 kindergarten and basic schools, 1,200 senior high schools, 250 tertiary schools across 260 metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. 16 regions of Ghana were fumigated and successfully disinfected.
A lot of equipment in terms of vehicle that can do agricultural mechanization, that can help to do irrigation, mechanized farming. All these machines are available. They can come to us and we can have it done for them.
So we are calling out to all businesses in Ghana, Africa, and on the international scene to reach out to us for collaboration and an integrated waste management solution.
This is the remarkable success story of an organization that placed the well-being of the people at the core of its vision, even in challenging times. A story of visionary leadership, excellence, hard work, and commitment to the nation. A testament to a people's remarkable resilience against a deadly pandemic through local solutions.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.